Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, this channel is all about my journey throughout CRNA school. So today's video is going to be on Apex Anesthesia and its features. If you guys are interested, let's get into the nitty gritty. So I've mentioned in several other videos that I've been using Apex Anesthesia for my workbooks, especially this semester. They've assigned us 17 Apex workbooks that we have to complete before the end of the semester. So I kind of wanted to just go into detail on the features that Apex Anesthesia has, if it's worth it, if I recommend it. So let's get into it. So first what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over the pricing options that they have on their website for you to purchase the subscription. It's kind of like the Prodigy Anesthesia video that I made. I'll link that video somewhere here. And I'm just going to go over the features that it has on my iPad. I'm going to do a screen share so you can see what the interface looks like if you're interested, if you haven't gotten it yet, if you're considering it. And I'll tell you if I like it or not and if I find it useful. So I'm going to go to the iPad now. Okay, so I'm on the Apex Anesthesia website. It's just apexanesthesia.com. And I just want you to look at the pricing with me so that you can obviously consider these in your budget when it comes to deciding what schools you want to go to and how you're going to manage 3 years. So I went over to student sign up and let's go here, sign up now, and let's look at the pricing options. Okay, so the 1-year subscription is $400 and it gives you instant access to the course and unlimited updates for 1 year. Then you have the 2-year subscription, which is $449. So technically it's a little less in terms of how many days you get, whatever. It's telling you that it's 62 cents per day versus $1.10. And then you have the updates for 2 years, and then you pay upfront, you pay $3.99, and then an additional $50 is charged after the start of the 2nd year. And that actually just happened for me now because I have I think I signed up for the 3-year subscription, and it was $3.99 at first, and then I just got charged $50 like maybe last week because it's gonna be the start of my 2nd year that I've had this subscription. And then the 3-year subscription is 46 cents a day and it's $4.99, and it's I mean, you just have to consider what's best for you. And then the 4-year subscription is $5.49 and it's 38 cents per day. So you get charged the same, like upfront $3.99 for the year and then $50 each year coming up. I would assume that if you don't need it, you can cancel and they won't charge you the $50. That's just an assumption, my assumption. All right, let me just log in so you can see what it looks like now that we've gone over the pricing. So let me just log in real quick. And so this is how it looks when you log into your student course package. So I'm going to just hit here the student review, and you have all the course content here, and it's set up in units. So like, and it goes mostly by system. So when you click the respiratory, you have the tutorials for like airway, respiratory physiology, the pathophysiology, and then management. So I just want you to see kind of how it looks like, just so you can get an idea of what studying looks like with this website. So here you go into, they have each like module they have, or lesson, they have questions of beforehand. Then they have like, so then you do these questions, and they have a rapid review, which is kind of like a summary of what this lesson is offering you. So that way, if you don't have the time to read the full review, you can just go over into the rapid review section. And then in the in-depth review, they have, each section with multiple, detailed things. They have the whole anatomy here of the airway. They have different mnemonics. They have a whole bunch of other things, like how do you remember this? So it's telling you like ways that you can remember it. So it's definitely more detailed than the rapid review. And then at the end, you do like a practice question just so that you can reinforce the material that you just covered. And each section is pretty much like that. They may not be as lengthy or as detailed if it's not something that's super important. But what I like is to review the rapid review, go over what this section is about. Then I'll do the in-depth review just in case there's pictures. Sometimes there's videos, and I'll listen to the videos, and they're really helpful. What I like is that these pictures are very clear. They're very I don't know, the colors and all that, they're not distracting, and like the interface itself looks like they put some time into the designs. And I just like that it's kind of like sort of interactive, if you will, and that you have the opportunity to read and study on your own, and like just do the practice questions afterwards just to reinforce the material. I like it. I just feel like what our professors are having us do in terms of the workbooks is kind of just busy work for me. But anyway, so that's pretty much what the interface looks like. You have these nice pictures, nice detailed descriptions, and they're written in a way that you can understand. It's not like it's like jargon that would be too difficult. I feel like it tells you like, you as a provider should, pay attention to this. It's like, it's really, really easy to read, really simple to go over, and it's not horrible. It's just a lot. It is a lot. I mean, there's a ton of material that's covered in the boards, but anyway, so let's go back and look at, they have review exams based on the lessons that you had in that entire section. So the airway anatomy section, you'll have a test based on that, and in this one there's 13 questions. Sorry, just got a phone call. Anyway, so then you can go ahead and reinforce the material that you just covered and go from there. So I like that it has multiple sections where you can review and recall the information. It's not just like regurgitating information and moving on. Then let me show you what the workbooks look like. So then if you go to supplemental materials, you go workbooks, you can download all of the workbooks, and each workbook is, based on that particular section. So like airway anatomy, it has its own workbook, and it'll be like 17 or 18 pages, and it's just literally questions from each of those lessons that we just covered. So like the airway anatomy one, it had like lesson 1 blank blank blank, and it was like questions based on that lesson. So for me, I don't find them helpful, but that's because I feel like I'm just writing to just finish the assignment, and I'm not actually learning from it. But when I do have the time to go over the sections, I feel like it is beneficial to me. I feel like, if there's something that is covered in a textbook and I may not understand it, I can go through the Apex version of it, and it helps reinforce it for me. Like, I had a lot of issues in anatomy and physiology going over hydrostatic pressure, the Starling forces, oncotic pressure, and I felt like Apex covered it really well, and I understood it a lot better than when I learned it in class. So it really has helped. It's a supplemental material that I do think it is essential. I do recommend it early on. I don't know if it's best to get it in your first week. Our school forced us to get it in our first week, but I feel like when it's time for you to study for like a C exam, or to actually study for the NCE from the MBCRNA, then yeah, I would feel like it's beneficial, and you should definitely get it with ample time, because this whole thing, they have like a study review, what's the word I want to use? Like kind of like it's broken down so that you could do it in 8 weeks, like all the material you could do in 8 weeks, and just like knock it all out, and they have it like on a time schedule. But anyway, they also have like days that you can go to like a boot camp where it's set up in person, and they go over like the whole thing. I want to say it's like a bunch of hours, but it's also pricey. It's not free. Let's see if there's prices. Okay, so like for instance, the next one is going to be in Virginia on February 25th and 26th, and it's $800, and it's 2 days. You have 100 question boot camp exams, 3 monthly group Q&A sessions. It's a lot, but it's just like kind of like a quickie, like let's get this done so that you can take your boards exam. So it's like a board prep course. So there's one in February, one in September. So that's that. I don't know if I'll ever do that, but I mean, it's there. And then they're telling you the cost of like hotel and food and all that kind of thing. But anyway, let's go back. I want to look at the mock exam stuff so you could see what that looks like. So you have here 8 mock exams, and they're either 100 questions to 170. Then you have this, that's the study for the study mode. Then you have a simulation mode exam, which I would assume it's the same, it's just the questions are in a different style. One study mode would be like, you know, giving you the answer right away and telling you how it was wrong, like with the rationale. And then the simulation mode would more than likely be like the test itself, and then you get a score at the end. So yeah, you have 8 exams for that. And then you have the NCE exams, and they're based on the sections. Yeah, I don't know. It's a lot. It's definitely a lot, but I do recommend it. I do think that it's worth your time. If you're definitely considering it, put it in the back of your mind, maybe for when you're studying for your boards or for the C exam. I would assume most schools require the C exam. I'm not 100% sure on that, but the C exam is just the self-evaluation examination. It's just to determine where you would sit if you were to take your boards today, just the percentage chance of passing on your first try. So yeah, so what I like is that it kind of just has everything in a concise little package here. I don't know about concise because there's a lot of words in this. It's just something that you can go over if you're just lost and not sure where to study. I feel like it is helpful in that regard, that it goes by systems, and I don't know, it's just written in a way that you can understand it really easily. And I just like how it looks. Like, I personally feel like it just looks really inviting, like something you'd want to read and go over, and the pictures are really clear. So yeah, that's what I have to say about that. And yeah, I'm gonna go to the outro now. So yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about Apex. I've given my 2 cents on it. I do think that it is valuable, and I do think that it is beneficial for your program. I don't know if it's exactly perfect for everyone at the time that you purchase it. Buying it right off the bat sometimes could be, you know, a waste of money because you don't find yourself using it until you actually need it. So it depends on what you need. It depends on if your school requires it. Some schools do. They make you do workbooks starting from the beginning. I mean, granted, I had workbooks starting in the first semester from Apex, so I do think that if you're assigned these workbooks, then it is essential, because if not, you won't be able to get your assignments done. But pretty much it's supplemental. It will help you. I want to say that I find it to be more user-friendly than a textbook, and it's more concise. There are some lessons that are very lengthy, but in that regard, it's because they're very important, and it's got a lot of, you know, things that are involved in that particular maybe pathophysiology or what have you. So yeah, so that's all I have to say about Apex. I do recommend it, just to, you know, go through and see what you think would work best for you in terms of timing, because it is not cheap. It's a great website. I do think that they put more time and effort than Prodigy Anesthesia did, so there's that. But again, they do have exams just like Prodigy Anesthesia, so you may not need Prodigy Anesthesia. It depends on what works for you. I like in Prodigy Anesthesia that it's based on each textbook chapter, especially since that's what we're covering in those classes. So, you know, you just have to see what works for you and how you like to study, but I do recommend it if you're on the fence about it. So that's all I have to say for this video, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys in my next video. Bye.